Welcome back to another Alviso, guys. It's been a minute since the last one. We just started base training again, so we're going to talk about how intensity fits into our training schedule. We're going to talk about how to use early season base fitness to find success in crit racing. And lastly, we have better audio. My plan was to actually mic'd up. I have like a microphone under my jersey. My plan was to narrate and do commentary on this Criterium in real time, but turns out that's actually easier said than done. So I do have some audio clips I'm going to use, but I'm going to also narrate. Obviously, you can hear my voice now. So let's just dive right into it.
Small group, but fast group.
All right, so right off the bat, like I said from the rollout, we have a small but fast group. It's about 15 riders, I think, something like that. We have a couple of Tayroon Elite riders. These guys in pink are really fast. Couple of riders from Thirsty Bear, you guys know them from the channel. And then also we have Ryan, who doesn't have a teammate, but it's like he has 4 teammates because Ryan is that strong. He is my now former teammate. You guys have seen him on the channel. He can ride a breakaway, he can sprint, he can pretty much do it all, so he's also a really big threat. Those are the primary threats, although there's some other strong riders that are going to be extremely consequential later on in this race.
Let's let him get up the road. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so right off the bat, we're like lap 2 or something, and Ryan sneaks off the front. He's the type of rider who can go from 25 kilometers out like this and stay away solo. And I'm stressed out there for a moment because I was boxed in. But I have to do an effort here. This is
not let Ryan get away.
Yeah, and I'm saying.
And he's already getting away.
And I'm saying we cannot let Ryan get away. He's already getting away. And that's why I have to make this effort super early on. It's not ideal, but we can't. He's just the type of rider, like I said, who can stay away for 25 kilometers. And I was tempted to sit behind that Penvelo rider, but I just have to continue riding. This is traditionally a tailwind, but on today, actually, there was just really no wind to speak of.
All right, I got to close this down.
And I say, yeah, I have to close this down. The longer version of that is I know everyone is in my draft. You can see I even check right there. I know I'm just towing everyone along in my draft, doing all the work here, but it's just something I have to do, because if you start playing the game this early on, especially now that Ryan's with a small group up the road, and it looks like it has a pink jersey, like this just immediately has to get shut down because it has all of those people. I'm going to try to coax a pull out of this rider behind me, and I'm yelling at him to take a pull.
Take a pull!
And it's not working. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the game, because I didn't want to close it all the way down. It looks like Greg here, we'll see more of him later, is going to finish the deal. But I'm just not able to get into his draft. So it didn't even really benefit me. I may as well have just continued riding, because the pink jersey behind me, that's Matt, he's definitely not going to do any work to chase his teammate. So yeah, I just have to finish this one off. Second lap, big effort, not what you want to see, but hey, at least I'm back in the race. Well, at least I think I am. I mean, I'm sort of closing this down. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna finish the job here. But yeah, that was rough.
Ooh, that sucked.
Energy spent on lap number 2. Let's see how it works out for me a little later on. Okay, so just a couple hundred meters later, looks like Greg is making a move off the front. You can see him off in the distance. We have a Thirsty Bear rider sitting on the front right now, kind of slowing things up. And that's because his teammate on the left here is going to go. Now, this is like the old 1-2. You know, you have a teammate up the road, you sit up, let the gap open up.
Drop back a little bit, see what Tayroon's doing.
And you hear what I'm saying is I said I'm gonna sit back and see what Tayroon's doing, because both Thirsty Bear riders, both Tayroon riders made this front group.
Now I can follow wheels.
Yeah, like I'm saying, now I can follow wheels, because I really, you have to think about people's motivations.
Didn't have to close that one down.
Tayroon has 2 riders. They have to close that one down. They missed that lead group. Thirsty Bear didn't. So now Thirsty Bear can sit in, and I am going to sit in and just try to lean on Tayroon a little bit, because there's 2 of them.
Forcing Tayroon to do the work.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, making Tayroon do the work. I'm going to sit back, enjoy the benefit of the draft. And that was an effort that I avoided. It seems small, but these little things add up.
I'll let that one go.
So moments later, when Thirsty Bear goes again, it's the same thing. Tayroon's not in it. I'm just going to let that one go, like I say, because I'm going to try to avoid time spent out in the wind. I mean, that's the name of the game here in bike racing, guys, is drafting so important. But now Ryan's jumping across. Now it's looking pretty threatening. But still, I'm going to wait and see what Tayroon is doing, because I'm going to try to maximize the amount of time I stay in the draft. And yeah, it looks like I coax a pull out of Travis here, the rider in pink from Tayroon. I'm going to see if he's going to close this down, because he's looking after his sprinter, Matt, behind. And I'm going to try to benefit from that also. So he's going pretty hard. We're going 29 miles an hour. And I want to see if he's going to close this down, because I don't want to be out in the wind making this effort like he is. This is hard. I'm in the draft doing over 300. That means he's doing a lot more. In fact, the rider in front of me, not able to hang. So yeah, I'm not gonna I mean, obviously I have to close this one down, because if Travis gets across, that completes the breakaway. Not only are all the teams represented, but it's also that magical number of 4 that I've talked about. Kind of 4 to 6 range is ideal for a breakaway. Now, Travis is gonna elbow me through, and I'm not gonna bite, because yeah, you're doing a good job, buddy. Keep it up. I don't have any teammates. He's looking after his sprinter, and once he kind of keeps looking and he starts giving up, I'm gonna try to just send it across solo. I am worried about that group up there because it has Ryan, and this will put a lot of pressure on Tayroon. I mean, Travis is tired. He just took a hard pull. Matt is out of position. He wasn't on my wheel. So, yeah, I'm bringing Timmy with me. Timmy's a very capable sprinter. But Timmy's sharing the load, too. So this is looking pretty good. A lot of pressure on Tayroon. Now, they haven't made it, so I know they're going to be motivated. 2 riders behind are going to be extra motivated to bring this one back. But we're going to jump across to this lead of 3. Actually, I said it was 4. It looks like it's 3, and that makes 5. This is looking pretty good, and when you look back, somebody else has jumped across, and that's a risky. Oh, that's Blaine. That's a risky move, Blaine, because Blaine has a teammate up here, and I say never chase teammates, and yeah, Blaine didn't chase teammates. He jumped across, so he did it solo. There could be worse things, but now there's extra motivation behind for Tayroon and others who have missed it to really make sure that they stitch this one up and bring this one back. Yeah, and sure enough, we all kind of sit up. That allows Tayroon to come across. Not only does Travis come across, but you can see that pink jersey. He's just going to keep sending it straight on through. This is a good move. See the front rider slowing down. He's carrying all this speed and momentum. He's just going to continue on. And you guys are seeing a pattern here. Just like before, I'm going to lean on the team that missed it. And that is Thirsty Bear, because they're not represented in this group. And just as I say that, you can see in the rear cam, there goes Blaine. So now those teams are represented. Now, Ryan did make it. He's there on the left. So I know he's going to be something to deal with later, but for now, I feel like I have to jump across to this one because it has the 2 major teams represented. And guys, this lead group, it's in flux right now. This is a really important moment in the race where a breakaway of like 8 or 10 or even 12, I think is what we were at, isn't going to work. What's going to happen is there's going to be a breakaway from the breakaway, and you have to be very careful in these situations that you're on the happy side of that split. So I see the danger in this move, and I'm happy to commit this energy to jump across. And yeah, sure enough, this one gets brought back as well. And you can see Ryan here on that fancy Cervelo. He's going to do the same thing that Travis did from Tayroon just moments ago. He's just going to power straight on through the group and try his luck, because he recognizes this danger as well. There's going to be a shakeup. There's going to be a breakaway from the breakaway. That brings out the likes of Timmy, but most importantly, Thirsty Bear also jumps across, along with Greg. So this is looking pretty threatening. But look, as long as Tayroon's not up there, I'm just going to stay in Travis's draft right here. I'm just going to continue leaning on the boys in pink. Like, hey, you guys missed it. There's 2 of you. There's only 1 of me. You got to do something about that. And he does. In fairness, like he hits the front. He takes a hard pull. When he elbows me through, I do the same thing. Because look, even though I don't have teammates, I've also missed the breakaway. So I'm also losing this race. So I also take this pull. And we end up rotating pretty hard on the front. Next thing you know it, we have whittled down this chase group down to just 3 of us. It's Travis, myself, and Blaine from Thirsty Bear, who's got a teammate up there. So he's just going to be sitting on. He's not going to be contributing. And that means just down to Travis and I to bring back that lead group of like 4 or 5 riders. And at this point, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did not think that we were going to make it. I thought the race was over. But hey, endurance is good, you guys. I'm in the middle of base 5 of the masterclass, and honestly, if it wasn't for a solid foundation of base training, I wouldn't be able to be rolling turns like this with the likes of Travis. He's super strong. But yeah, shout out masterclass base 5. If you're interested in learning more about training plans and masterclass, check out the link in the description. Anyway, we end up closing that gap, and actually, before we get all the way there, I got a little trick up my sleeve. And some of you may already know where this is going. It's not the nicest thing in the world, but I'm going to attempt to jump across. You can see they're only like 3 seconds ahead of us right now. We've closed it down. I don't want any passengers. Look, I'm already going to have my work cut out for me to try to win against the group that's up the road. I don't need a fresh Blaine who's been sitting in the draft. I don't need a Travis who's capable of soloing from that group. So when he elbows me through, I just stand up and okay, given the circumstances, this was a pretty hard effort. We just spent the last, 20 minutes rotating hard, and the high end's not there. I talked about the base is good. The high end's not quite there yet, guys. It's just November. But it did not have the intended effect is the bottom line. You can see Blaine had no problem following me. Power of teamwork. He's looking really fresh. He's a big threat for sure. Yeah, Travis did end up getting dropped momentarily. I didn't know that until I'm looking at this footage now. We'll see more of him later. He's gonna make it back across. That did not have the intended effect, and now we're there, but at what cost? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of work was done, a lot of energy spent, a lot of matches burnt up until this point. What can we do with only 8 kilometers left to try to win this race? And the first thing we have to do is just hang on for dear life, because I was seeing cross-side, and the counterattacks come. This is always a good time if you're up in this front group. Even if you're Blaine and you had a teammate, you get pulled across. There's confusion. 2 groups come together. It's a little bit too big. There's always a very opportune time for a counterattack, and that's what's happening right now on the front. Thankfully, it doesn't get separation. I'm still hanging on here, and I just want to catch my breath, get my heart rate lowered back into a controlled zone, hopefully in the 140s, 150s, something like that. That's be a much more comfortable position if I can make that happen. And we're actually able to make that happen. We spend the next lap relatively chill. Heart rate's now is down at a pretty chill 150, and then Ryan goes. So here's the thing, though. Like, now I'm in a position to respond to it, but I'm still going to kind of play that game of chicken, because let's not forget, Thirsty Bear has 2 riders in this group. They missed that, and you're always looking for opportunities to force other riders to do the work. Now, Thirsty Bear doesn't have to, right? But with 2 riders, they have cards to play. And it looks like actually Greg is the one that sends it. Jerome here on Thirsty Bear in front of me goes. And I'm getting an excellent draft here. It doesn't look like it, but at 32 miles an hour, this is fantastic. They're doing a lot more work than me. And now, like I said before, now I'm in a position to respond to it. I don't think people realized how in the box I was a lap before this. If this attack went by Ryan 1 lap before this, like right when I made contact, it would have been a deal breaker for me. And looking back in the rear cam, this attack by Ryan was a deal breaker for some other folks. So this lead group is now getting whittled down based on these attacks. But lucky me, it happened at a moment where it was a lap later. I was able to recover, catch my breath, and respond to it. So now kind of race resets one more time in this smaller group.
1 to go.
And that brings us into the last lap. So we have just under 3 kilometers to go. The race is going to be over in just a couple of minutes. And we're kind of playing that game of cat and mouse. And what that allows for is for Travis, the man who refuses to die, to just roll through the front again. I was going to call it an attack, but we're all just so shelled at this point. It wasn't really a punchy attack. We're all just trying to catch our breath here. This group is whittled down. I mean, what are we down to now? Even with the addition of these extra couple of riders, I think there's, 6 of us? We're all quite tired. We're all starting to think about what are our best chances for a win in this situation. And for me, like, I want things to come all together just like this. 200 watts into 200 meters to go, because I like myself a field sprint, especially from a reduced group like this. So that's what I'm looking for. I just want things to stay friendly and cohesive. It's going to be unlikely because there's other riders in this group that aren't so powerful in the sprint. They're much stronger a little further out. So everyone's just kind of on edge right now thinking, like, what's the next move? Ryan's forced to the front. I know he's probably looking forward to a sprint as well, but he doesn't want to be on front. That's why he's slowing down quite a bit. I'm doing less than 100 watts. This is dangerous when you let a guy like Travis off the front like this. And this is the game we play. This is what I love about this sport, you guys, is the strategy and the tactics, especially in the closing couple of kilometers of a race. Ryan's not going to let that happen, so he gives it a little push. I'm not going to let Ryan get away, that's for sure, so I'm going to stay glued to Ryan's wheel. But I just don't want to be forced too close to the front. The ideal position right here, I want to be like at the back, like completely quiet, a ghost, maximizing my time in the draft. I don't have to respond to those attacks. I don't have to use that little bit of sprint energy I have left on closing gaps, on jumping across moves that are inside of the last 1 or 2 kilometers. I'm looking to save every ounce of energy for those final 200 meters. Travis goes again. This guy, man, he is relentless. It's good to see. High level of competition out here at Alviso these days. Love to see it, especially in November, which is probably the quietest month of bike racing here in the Northern Hemisphere. But here things are starting to shake up. I told you I wanted to be at the back. I kind of forced myself to the back at the cost of kind of missing out on this train, which is following some late race attacks. Now, I thought in this moment, you guys, less than 1 kilometer to go, I thought this would be such a good opportunity just to send it right over the top of everybody. They wouldn't expect it, but here's the thing. I am tired. It was hard for me to muster the courage and the energy to make that happen, so I'm going to continue to sit on. But the problem is we're playing the game hard. Like, here's the deal. Ryan is in that blue and purple kit. Timmy's in front of him. And we're all just kind of looking at each other. We're all sprinters thinking, I don't want to do it, you do it. And somebody's got to close that down because Greg up the road, who's so fit these days, guy's so fast, in the green top, he sees what's happened. There's confusion. We're all playing that game of chicken behind, and this is exactly how races are won. Or from my perspective, this is exactly how races are lost because he turns back and he just pours it on. He just goes full tilt. Now this forces Timmy's hand. Now Timmy's just going to send it. And this is like way too early for a sprint. Timmy probably realizes that. It's way too early for a sprint for me as well. But at this point, we're just like, let's catch Greg. So I'm going to send it. I know I'm looking back. You can see me. And I know that Ryan's behind me, so I'm going to empty the tank.
Get him, get him, get him!
And I'm screaming at Ryan just to get him, see if we can catch Greg right at the line. And we don't. Greg takes it down.
Woo!
Beats the sprinters on their own turf. Really well-deserved win. That was a ton of fun. So good to be back at Alviso. So, hey, if you guys like this content, we got more Alvisos coming your way. Newly paved roads. Look at this. We're hitting 40 miles an hour even when there's no wind.
Woo!
Get subscribed. It's totally free. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.